Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome down to the last home volleyball game of the season. My name is Jamie Lambert and I am thrilled to have you here with us tonight. We are covering your Eastern Wyoming College Lady Lancers versus the Lady Northeastern volleyball team. It's panning out to be a good night. Northeastern are ranked 4th in the nation, so tonight is going to be a tough test for your Eastern Wyoming College Lady Lancers. Coming off the back of the Saturday night result against Northwest College, off of that 3-1 win in sets for the Lady Lancers, they're coming into this game with a bit of confidence. But can they be up to the test of Northeastern, as I say, ranked 4th in the nation and currently set to be one of the main contenders for the national championship this year in the nation. It's going to be a good evening of volleyball for you to join us for. Some interesting insights from George Hamilton kind of after the game on Saturday. He mentioned about the fact that he wasn't too happy with the amount of errors that his side were giving up, and that did steadily improve in the game against Northwest. The game against Central Wyoming, which was here on the Friday night, ended up being a 3-0 loss in sets. It was a difficult night for the Lancers as they gave up 60 errors. Nevertheless, they came through and they managed to beat Northwest in sets 3 and 1. And it was exactly the bounce back that Coach George Hamilton wanted. Well, join us after this short advertisement break where we are hoping that we will be able to get a hold of George Hamilton and maybe even a few of the professors here at Eastern Wyoming College before also then running through the rosters of Northeastern College and your hometown Lady Lancers.
Wyoming, where hard-working hands build incredible things.
Built this thing from the ground up out of nothing. Gave it everything. Now look at what it's given back.
We know you put your heart into your business because that's what Wyomingites do. As a local bank, we put our hearts into helping you because we're not just a bank in Wyoming. We're Wyoming in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I've just got some stats here for you on this lovely Monday evening here in Torrington, Wyoming at the Vale Petch Activity Centre. So looking at your Northeastern College volleyball team, they are 13-0 in the conference and they are on a very impressive streak of 23 games won in a row. Can the Lady Lancers put an end to that? Well, we will soon see. But looking at the results that Northeastern are coming off of, they've just come off of 6 successive 3-0 victories against Otero College, Trinidad State, McCook, Lamar, North Platte and Southeast Community College. The only game that they've won in the conference in the 5th set so far this year came at home to Laramie County. An interesting one there to show that they are not exactly the 3-0 perfect as the stats might show. But for your Lady Lancers, it's going to be a test, but it's one that the girls, as they've got deeper into this season, have looked more and more impressive as soon as they've got into system. And the question is posed of whether Lady Lancers can cause some issues for NJC here tonight. for your Eastern Wyoming College Lady Lancers, coming off the back of that 3-1 victory in sets. As we were saying earlier, it was a very important game for the Lady Lancers to win, especially in terms of solidifying their 4th place in the region. They are currently unranked as it goes nationally. But nevertheless, that volleyball game against Northwest was vital for solidifying their place ahead of Gillette College, who are currently in 5th. Obviously, with the Lady Lancers, this is their last game at home tonight against Northeastern. They then have to travel away to Casper, and they have to travel to Gillette, where that Gillette game is proving that it's going to be a very important one, as the Lady Lancers here coming out of the dressing room dressed in their grey uniforms for their last game of the season. Let's have a look through the season as it's been so far in the conference, and it's been one that I think that Coach Hamilton probably hasn't exactly anticipated it going this way, but nevertheless the Lady Lancers have been sticking in with it. 5-5 they are for the conference, and one of those where some games certainly that we've covered so far, you feel like they might have been able to get a little bit more out of it. And they seem to be very good at bouncing back from losses so far this year. Their first game in the conference being a 3-1 loss away to Laramie County, and then winning 3-1 in sets at Western Wyoming. Then in the same way losing 3-0 in sets in Riverton at Central Wyoming, and then beating Northwest on their home turf 3-0. And it's been the story of the season really. It's been win-loss, win-loss. The only consecutive losses, in fact, coming away to Western Nebraska and then home at Central Wyoming. But now here we are, we're going to get your volleyball rosters here to you, and we're going to first start off with NJC. Number 1, Peyton Fornander. Number 2, Macon Butler. Number 3, Sophie Wood. Number 4, Caitlin Barnes. Number 6, Olivia Moore. Number 7, Taylor Eaple. Number 8, Stella Carrier. Number 9, Kendi Kerr. Number 10, Evelyn Gavet. Number 12, Natalie Moore. Number 15, Kira Heavenlow. Number 16, Giselle Sales. Number 17, Sandra Najeka. Number 18, Madeline Shumway. And rounding out for the NJC volleyball team is number 19, Samantha Mosley. And for your hometown Lady Lancers, number 0, Olive Osmara. Number 2, Brynley Huff. Number 3, Vladimir Ristich. Number 4, Jaylee Critchfield. Number 5, Alison Botters. Number 6, Clara Hayhinen. Number 7, Gracie Zimbrennan. Number 9, Una Stepic. Number 10, Kylie Onstein. Number 11, Addison Rollins. Number 12, Tessa Gilchinman. Number 14, Alana Asante. Number 15, Piper Halverson. Number 16, Annika Cantrell. Number 18, Lola Hughes. Number 19, Savannah Kirkbride. Number 20, Anne-Marie Huntsman. And number 22, Anna Carolina Madeiros. And number 23, Rachel Macy. With head coach George Hamilton leading the way. Yeah, no worries. I mean, if it looks like okay, then that's fine. No, you're good. I mean, if you wanted to do it again, we can. I mean, just before the game starts. I mean, I don't mind. Well, in the nicest way possible, they can get fucked now because we've only got about 4 minutes. Yeah, Bill will be commentating with me. Adam sat by his camera, but he doesn't have a headset on, I don't think. I don't know why that is. I would get on Kristen about that, but I don't even know where Kristen is. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are 2.5 minutes away from getting things and proceedings underway here in the Velpetch Activities Arena here in Torrington, Wyoming. My name's Jamie Lambert. I'm going to be your lead commentator tonight. We are going to have Coach Bill Engel up here as per usual for our last home volleyball game of the season. In this little pre-game show, we've been talking about the Lady Lancers and how this season hasn't been quite what they would have hoped so far. 5-5 in the conference, but talking to Coach Hamilton, he's not too concerned. Mainly in the fact that the region tournament is a double elimination tournament. Therefore, if you lose one game at the regionals, you end up actually not being knocked out straight away. You have to lose 2 games to then be knocked out. As we watch the Lancers here start their serves, and it's something that ironically has been a very big vocal point for the Lady Lancers so far. Their service hasn't been the greatest. It's been very up and down. There have been games where certainly, you know, to speak, Una Stepic and Olive Osmer have really got their serves going and are causing all sorts of problems for the opposition teams. In some other games, though, they've struggled a little bit. It's been a difficult few games in terms of errors for the Lancers. As I said earlier, about 60 errors accumulated in that Central Wyoming game on Friday night. And then on Saturday, slightly better, but still in the region of about 40 errors. Not quite good enough by George Hamilton's high expectations, but nevertheless, they are been working hard in training, and for this they're not quite penultimate, but they're third to last game before the regional tournament. And looking ahead to the basketball season now, the first game that we are going to be showing live here on our YouTube channel will be on the 11th of November, where the men's and women's basketball teams will be playing Western Nebraska at home, a rivalry game to kick off the season for the basketball teams. They will, however, be getting their season started on the 31st of October, away to McCook, as we tune in to Coach Bill Engel with his pre-game announcements and the national anthem as tradition.
The National Youth College Association Region 9 request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Negative comments, profanity, racist, sexist, or other abusive comments or actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated. Eastern Wyoming College thanks you for your support and cooperation. As we honor our country, let's never forget the great men and women that have and are currently serving our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as we go ahead here and play the national anthem. Starting lineups. First, visiting Plainsmen. Number 4, Caitlin Barnes. Number 8, Stella Carr. Number 10, Evelyn Duvet. Number 12, Natalie Moore. Number 15, Kira Heaton-Lowe. Number 17, Sandra Rivera. Number 19, Samantha Mosley. Their coach, anything else? And now for your one-shot answers. Number 0, Oliver Almera. Number 6, Laura Levine. Number 9, Tina Stepich. Number 11, Ashton Rollins. Number 14, Diana Smith. Number 16, Annabelle Lee. Number 20, Kimberly Humphrey. And number 23, Rachel Casey. And number 45, Jill Cameron. Ladies, let's have a great match.
And welcome here, ladies and gentlemen. Just in case you didn't catch the starting lineups, I'll run through them for you. So for your Northeastern Plainswomen, we have number 4, Caitlin Barnes. Number 8, Stella Cara. Number 10, Evelyn Gavitt. Number 12, Natalie Moore. Number 15, Kira Heavenlow. Number 17, Sandra Najeka. And number 19, Samantha Mosley. And for your hometown Lady Lancers, we have number 0 from Torrington, Wyoming, Olive Osmara. Number 6 from Bolas, Sweden, Clara Hagenen. Number 9 from Kruzovac, Serbia, Una Stepic. Number 11 from Wallen, Wyoming, Addison Rollins. Number 14 from St. Cloud, Florida, Alana Asante. Number 16 from Wrangell, Colorado, Annika Cantrell. Number 20 from Spanish Fork, Utah, Amory Huntsman. And number 23 from Pine Bluff, Wyoming, Rachel Macy. This game is just about ready to get underway here, as the referees are clarifying who should be on the court and who should not be. Starting on the court there, we have Olive Osmara, Addison Rollins, Annika Cantrell, Amory Huntsman, Una Stepic and Clara Hagenen as the Plainswomen are set to get us going here. service coming in from Kara. The set from Heihinen. The hit down from Rollins, just trying to slightly tip it over the net. Number 19, Samantha Mosley, slamming it down and earning the first point for the Northeastern Plainswoman. It's going to be another serve here in from Kara. Amory Huntsman with the dig. The hit by Cantrell is over the back of the court, and it's going to be a early 2-0 lead for the Plainswoman. While coming into this game, Coach Hamilton was talking about the fact that he just wanted to really solidify the place in the region. Currently 4th place ahead of Gillette, and Olive Osmer there just slightly getting in the way of Amory Huntsman, and it's going to be a 3-0 lead for the Plainswomen as they get going here. Kara is to send another serve into the Lancer half as Una Stepic up to hit, and the block there by Samantha Mosley. And the Plainswomen taking up a 4-0 lead here in this first set. Not exactly how the Lady Lancers would have wanted to start. Kara. Powerful serve there to Amory Huntsman, who does well to dig it. The Lady Lancers just need to get it back over, and that's exactly what they do. And Annika Cantrell in there with the block. And that was an important one for the Lady Lancers to really get their evening underway, and it's the first time that they are going to be on the board for the day. And Una Stepic up to serve here for the Lady Lancers. Causing some issues there for Northeastern. The set coming in from Hayton, and the slam down by Cantrell is too long, and it's gone out of bounds. We are now joined by Coach Bill Engel. Coach, how are we doing this evening?
You know, we're doing well. We had a little bit of a late night last night, getting back from our scrimmage and Spearfish, and but everything is going well. So good, excited to be here, and excited to watch our girls play.
And for this last home game of the season, Coach, what exactly do you think Coach Hamilton is going to be expecting from this team?
You know, it's one of those things where we have a non-conference game or non-division game, so it doesn't count in the division, and girls just want to prepare, and they know they're playing a really good team. I believe NJC is 4th in the nation right now, so you get to see really good competition, and you got to be up to the battle.
One of the people that, even very early in this game, that we can see is going to be some trouble for the Lady Lancers tonight is number 19, Samantha Mosley. Very tall, athletic girl, and 6'6", coming in from College Park, Georgia.
Yeah, she's obviously, certainly looks the part, and she's going to get her hands on a lot of balls, and she's going to be a problem at the net, but usually girls like that, or even on the guys' side, a little less mobile, and got to go around them and kind of make them move their feet.
A good kill there by Amory Huntsman, got the ball back for the Lancers, and Olive Osmer served there, just going a little bit long at the back of the court.
Yeah, and again, can our girls find the mojo, and you're always looking for that group of athletes that want to compete, no matter what the situation is. Are they out there? And you just saw Clara give a sign over to Annika, so the girls are out there. They're thinking about strategy and what direction they want to go with things. So it's a good start for our girls.
Lana Asante there being denied by number 12 Natalie Moore and Samantha Mosley, number 19, as we've just said. Going to be some issues at the net tonight, but it's about how the Lady Lancers are going to deal with the net threat that NJC pose, as the service there going into the net by Evelyn Gavette.
Yeah, our girls, again, let's find a way to compete. Just find that one thing, right? Where can we serve the ball? Where can we hit the ball? What are we in that can deke them and get, 19 to one side of the court while we hit it the other way?
Ellie Hughes is floating to the back court. And a net violation, I think, called there on number 8 for NJC, Stella Cara. Gives another point to the Lancers.
Yeah, good point for our ladies again. Again, with the size that we got to play against with NJC, got to be a little creative at the net here.
But he's served to centre court again, causing some issues, and the slam down by Amory Huntsman. And all of a sudden, the girls are showing a little bit of fight in them, Coach.
Yeah, a couple unforced errors there, a couple bad passes by NJC, and our girls took advantage of it, and that was great. So let's continue to do it.
5-8 lead for NJC's Plainswomen. Set coming in here, and the slam down by number 4, Caitlin Barnes. And that was quite a powerful hit there, Coach. Not a lot more that I think that the Lancers could have done on defense there.
No, they did a nice job with the pass and the set, and of course Spike came across court. Just nice of you get blockers there, you can just get a piece of it, something to slow it down for the back row.
Cara in for the serve, and Emery Huntsman hits the block, took a lot of the venom out of that strike. Maybe a chance for the Lady Lancers to capitalise here. Una Stepic, not quite doing enough, and the sly little hit over by the setter there, nearly catching the Lancers off guard, and they're doing really well to keep the ball up in the air at the moment. Lily Hughes doing really well to set it for Olive Osmo there. This is a good rally by both teams. The set coming in from Hughes. Brindley Huff. Oh, called us out. That certainly looked in from my perspective, Coach. I'm not sure about you.
There's lots of oohs and ahs from the crowd here, so, that was one that was really tight. And again, it's one of those deals. You got a round ball on the flat line, and the ball flattens out a little bit in contact, and, you got to trust the line judge on that. Our angle really probably thought that caught a piece of the line, but, she's got a better angle than we do.
Exactly that, and that serve there by Madeline Shumway really causing some issues there for Una Stepic.
Yeah, it was a tough serve, and we just didn't get a very good pass on it. And again, it's something the girls got to keep working on here.
The dig there by Huntsman, the set from Hughes, up for Brindley Huff. Blocked by the blockers there, taking a lot of sting out of that, and Northeastern just doing really well there to kind of capitalise on, what we thought was a good hit, and maybe got a little bit complacent in the fact that we were expecting to catch them off guard, and they just decided to capitalise on a bit of complacency.
Yeah, they did a really good job, again, on a tough ball, staying in system. They had a good set, and just don't think we got to the net in time.
The set coming in from Hughes, hit by Huntsman, dug up really well there by Shumway, and the hit there by Huff blocked by Natalie Moore.
Not a bad point for our girls. They had a back set there, and then came back to the other side of the front set, and it looks like NJC is prepared for the ball to go forward, but maybe not as much to go backwards.
And Coach Hamilton there just calling a timeout, and join us in a little bit when we come back and give you the rest of the game. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Going to bring the rest of this first set to you here. The Lady Lancers taking a deficit down of 5-13 early on.
Yeah, big spot for our girls, but NJC riding 22-game win streak. This is one of those teams you're playing against during a season where we're kind of middle of the road here in Region 9, and just such an opportunity to compete.
The set there from Lola Hughes, and the hit down by Huff. Enough to get the point for the Lady Lancers, and the point after the timeout might prove to be important. Emery Huntsman is coming up to serve for the Lady Lancers. And slightly long of the court there, Coach, and maybe just got a little bit optimistic.
A little bit too much on the serve for sure. And again, we've had this conversation a lot. Let's just keep the ball in play right now, and make other teams return it. You just kind of keep it off the floor when you don't have the ability to hammer it at the net every time.
And Coach kind of spoke pre-game about the errors that we've seen out of the Lady Lancers, total errors, and we had a look at the sheet from the Central game, and we saw the fact that the ladies had accrued 60 errors total in that game. And just kind of run me through here, really, what's the aim here? Is it keeping those errors down, or is it trying to attack this game and maybe give up some errors along the way?
Well, I mean, there's certainly two parts of it. You need to minimize some of those errors, but at the same time, you don't want to play hesitant. So, you want to play with some passion, and you're going to make some mistakes here and there, and, just live with it, but not 60 of them. So you want aggressive mistakes for sure, but I think more of the mistakes or some of the parts of the game that our girls have struggled with a little bit is just receiving. We got to be able to handle some services and get them back in play and stay in system.
And that's certainly been one thing that kind of looking at throughout the season so far is that services, serving, and that was a great serve there by Alana Sante, but services have also been one of those that have been quite easy points given up. I think over the last 2 games at least that we've covered, we've seen at least 20 service errors, I think, and that's quite a lot when you're chasing games sometimes and you're giving up 20 points just through not even playing a point.
Right. So you're exactly right. When you look at that on paper and think about, well, how can we get some simple points back here, and all those serves that have gone out of bounds or hit the net, if all those serves are in play, you're not going to win all of them, but if you win half of them, that makes a big difference.
Dig there from Huntsman going towards Huff at the net. Ladies just need to get in system there, and the block couldn't quite deal with that hit, and Olive Osmer just, I think, saw that a little bit too late.
Yeah, girls just need to get to it a little bit sooner, that's all. And if they'll get to the net, they start to get a piece of it, give the back row and give Olive a little bit more chance to get to those balls.
Good dig there by Osmer, the set from Hughes, and the hit from Huff. Good block there, and took a lot of sting out of that. And just a slight miss hit there by Caitlin Barnes, and it gives a point to the Lancers. 9-17, Coach. And if you're Coach Hamilton here, taking Brittany Huff and Lola Hughes out the game, what are you expecting to see out of Clara Hayhinen and Annika Cantrell at this moment?
Clara's going to do a great job making sure the ball gets where it needs to go. She'll do a great job setting. And, we want Annika to be a little creative around the net. When is she going to pull out the hammer? When is she going to be able to tip the ball and find an open spot?
That was a good pancake there by Osmer, and the Lady Lancers just prioritising getting that back over the net, and that's a really sly bit of work by Kara there. Just really getting the ball back over the net and causing some confusion for the Lady Lancers.
Right, and it's one of those things where it really wasn't a good hit to her, and she wasn't going to have the ability to set it. Instead of trying to do too much with it, she just tipped it over unexpectedly and caught us off guard.
So going to come in from Cara. Yeah, just the dig. Causing some issues again for the Lady Lancers. And a bit of confusion on that call, certainly by the Lady Lancers' side.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the call was there. I guess they're trying to say that they were over the net in this case, or maybe some type of net violation or hit violation.
Nevertheless, the decision being given against them, and they just have to kind of shrug that off and just keep going.
Got to move on, got to get to the next play.
As Cara is going to be up for another serve. So far, services have caused some errors or some issues for the Lady Lancers so far, but that's a good dig there by Una Stepic. The set just slightly behind her, but she did well to compensate for that. The hit down by Mosley, and that's a fantastic save there by Clara Hayhinen. And the hit there, just Northeastern just taking advantage of an out-of-system Eastern Wyoming team.
Yeah, again, their athleticism up front, and they get the ball where it needs to go, and it's tough to handle. And they did a really nice job with that quick set.
9-20 in favour of the NJC Plainswomen. The set there from Hayhinen was blocked, but the Lancers still keeping the ball in the air. NJC just a slightly odd set there and just cause some issues for the hitter. Hagen doing really well to keep that up above the ground again. This is turning into a little bit of a messy point and just clipping the tape there and just taking enough out of the ball to keep it inbounds.
You know, we had NJC out of system and they ended up with a very awkward hit and it just sort of rolled along the tape and fell into a spot we didn't have anybody.
9:21, and Coach Hamilton's going to take a time out here. And Coach, I mean, it's been a difficult set so far for the Lady Lancers, so what exactly do you think George Hamilton's going to be talking to his girls about?
You know, if you get in a situation like this against a really good team, you know, you're not looking at the scoreboard right now. You're just trying to tell the girls, you know, what we can do to win this point. So, you know, we want to break service here, get a side out, and give ourselves a chance to score a few more points and just try to take them one at a time, not worry about the score. But, you know, what can we do once here? You know, it's just one thing. You know, where are we going to set the ball? You know, do we have a quick set in the middle? Do we have something to the outside here? You know, something in the back row? But, you know, let's have something with it.
And certainly quite an impressive run that NJC have gone on so far this year. We were talking in the break earlier, a run of 21 games won in, or is it 22 rather?
22 games in a row that they've won so far.
And that doesn't happen by accident. That is a very well coached side evidently, and it seems like Coach Mackenzie Nilsson's done a really good job of coaching this team and really leading them to some success.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, you know, good for us to win the ATO there, and girls were right on top of it. Let that ball sail out of bounds and get a side out.
There's that service break that you were talking about, Coach, and what the Plainsmen are going to do here. And straight to Mosley, and she slams it down, and it's another point for the NJC Plainswomen. Just seeing the way that she can get up over the net and just slam that ball down. It's one that's going to be very difficult for the Lady Lancers to deal with tonight. But how do you think, Coach, how are they going to be able to deal with that?
You know, you just got to get to her and you got to challenge her. You know, she's 6'6" and, you know, left-handed, so you got an idea of kind of what direction she's going with the ball, and just get there and see if you can get a piece of it. You know, even though she's a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, you know, make her hit through you. Because if we can get a piece of that, then our back row is going to be able to get to it.
Kira having low there with the ace and causing a bit of pandemonium on the NJC bench. And like I think most very good teams that you see, just look like they're enjoying themselves, Coach, and look like they're having a good time.
Absolutely. And, you know, usually that's a pretty good sign of a well-coached team when the bench is involved and picking up their teammates and just having a lot of fun. And, you know, you see the same thing on our bench, even though our girls are down, they're sitting over there and they're chanting and staying involved.
And the block there in by Annika Cantrell, and those are the kinds of points that we want to see from the Lady Lancers win, and can really be a confidence boost in this game.
You know, it can, because, you know, right now this game essentially doesn't end up meaning anything, but I believe we're going to have to win one up in Gillette to probably solidify our spot in 4th place, and, you know, that's going to be a big game for us.
And Olive Osmer there just going slightly long of the court, and it takes NJC within one of the set.
Yeah, you know, Olive's been serving really well. I believe she was the Defensive Player of the Week in the north side of Region 9, so congratulations to her. And, yeah, that one just got away from her a little bit.
And trading out of bounds serves there, both teams. And, you know, if you're NJC, you're probably not too concerned about making mistakes like those if you've got a 24-13 lead. But exactly how are the Lady Lancers going to capitalise from this?
Well, let's put this ball in play and let's see what happens.
Early Hughes up to serve there. Kind of going towards centre court, and just a bit of an awkward set there, and a mistimed jump by Natalie Moore, and not really a lot that NJC could have done from there. They just got put in a very awkward position.
Yeah, they did. You know, and again, sort of an unforced error, but a really good serve by Lola.
Early Hughes to serve again, and straight to that centre court again. Again, that set just causing some issues for the Plainswomen. Brittany Huff just wanting to get this back over. The set for Mosley that time is long of the court. It's another point for the Lady Lancers. It's a 15-24 lead.
You know, and that was good to see that, you know, our girls got over there and they challenged her, and I think she just tried to hit the ball over the top of them, went out of bounds.
Early Hughes there, but dig not quite exactly, I think, as they would have shaped up, but nevertheless a chance for the Lady Lancers to capitalise here, and hit down by Alana Asante, but read well by NJC. Mosley up to hit, the block just slightly over the net, and nothing really that the Lady Lancers could have done. So that's the first set over and done with, and it's a 25-15 win for NJC's Plainswomen. And coach, just kind of give us a run through of that set and really what we did well.
I thought the girls, hung around. They didn't give up, they didn't quit. And there at the end, probably the most promising part was that they really challenged Samantha Mosley, that, the 6'6" girl at the net. They got a piece of the block, I think 3 times in a row. So continue to do that, continue to be aggressive with her. And it seems like, we've got more than enough ability to challenge at the net right now.
We'll join us back here in a minute, where I'm sure that I'll try and get out of coach about how his scrimmages went and how exactly his pre-season is shaping up. Join us in a second. Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready for this second set here. And just looking at some of these stats, coach, I mean, my instant was to look at the errors, obviously, and 16 errors for your Lady Lancers, but 11 errors from the NJC Plainswomen, and it's probably not quite how I would have expected it, because it seems like Northeastern have played a nigh on perfect game so far, but nevertheless, 11 errors, and actually not that far off of what we've been doing, coach.
And I think it's a little uncharacteristic for them, and I'm sure their coach is sort of taking it all in and making some mental notes and some things she's probably not real happy with right now. And hopefully our girls can reduce a few of those errors, and NJC will keep making a few of them, and it's going to leave us in the game, give us a chance here at the end.
And one of the things that has to be noted here is that Northeastern have got a kill percentage of 0.2 so far in this game, and your Lady Lancers have got a negative 0.1, and I think that's really kind of been the telltale so far, hasn't it?
It really has. Really their dominance at the net has really caused problems for us.
Sandra Najeka there, just getting it back over the net and seeming to confuse the Lady Lancers a little bit. And it's first blood to the Plainswomen in this second set.
Yeah, let's just see if our girls will stick together here, and let's battle this thing out.
And the service over there coming in from Kira Lowe, and that's again, it's probably one of those that's a bit uncharacteristic for the Lady Plainswomen.
We'll take it though. Here we go, the opportunity to build a lead.
Precisely that, as Samory Huntsman up to serve, and serve to back court. Set there to Mosley, and hit down again, and it's kind of been the story so far of this first and beginning of this second set is Mosley seems to very much be the target, and well, why wouldn't she be?
And she obviously a very gifted athlete, very talented, and I just think we really need to get there early and just challenge her.
As you said, I mean, late in that first set, we managed to get up to her early, and we managed to challenge, and she actually ended up putting one out of bounds. So it definitely does show that if we can get to her early enough, that certainly within a chance, not necessarily it's a guaranteed that she's going to mess up, but at least then you give it a chance to make an unforced error.
Right. And so let's continue to do it. You know, right now we got a couple of receiving errors, and we need to clean that up right now.
Be Evelyn Gavetz to serve here for the Plainswomen. Set there from Hughes, and the point going to the Lady Lancers. I think reaching over the net, I think, was the call.
Yeah, head coach Mackenzie Nelson not agreeing with the call, and I think he just wants an explanation of what happened there. And the down official here, Jackie Casey, giving her explanation of what did occur.
Mackenzie Nelson, coach, really showing a displeasure with that opinion, but in the same way, I think it's the same message as we were giving to the Lady Lancers as they had the call given out of bounds rather than in bounds. It's just that park it, move on, and just try and do your best to get the next point.
You know, it's tough because you work so hard to get something done right, and you know, it goes against you, and you feel like you did it right, and the call is wrong, but it's part of life, and you just gotta get past it.
Shumway with the serve there, and the set from Hughes coming in for Una Stepic. It was a powerful hit down, but dug up really well by NJC. Good dig by Hughes there, and the hit by Stepic just recovered well by NJC, and trying to keep it up in the air, but not quite being able to, the Lady Lancers. And really, that was just a really good set.
It was a good rally. Like we said, sometimes it's just a good college point, and that's what that was. And you know, got to move on from that one, get to the next one, but feel good about what we just did in execution.
And Shumway here to serve for NJC, and causing some issues there for the Lady Lancers, but they recovered well. Now just time to get back into their system. Blocked really well there by Una Stepic on that near side, and forced NJC to try and get it back over the net, and unfortunately for them, they just couldn't quite get their hand over it.
You know, NJC went to a little slide play there, and you know, our girls saw it coming, had a good block, got NJC out of system, and you know, good point for us to win.
3-5 as Clara Hayhanen here checking back into the game. The set coming in, and the hit down by Natalie Moore falls inbound, and again, it was one of those where I think they managed to get up well for the block, just not quite putting enough on it.
Yeah, you know, they came around again in that slide. Usually don't see teams do it 2 times in a row in the same place, but, you know, they did, and, you know, we weren't there the second time. You know, we got a little bit of a piece of it, but just not enough.
It's one of the things to note, Coach, is NJC here as Una Stepic goes long. NJC are coming off the back of 6 successive sweeps in their last 6 games.
Yeah, you know, very dominant program this year for sure.
Very impressive indeed. Something that I believe that the Lady Lancers at some point last year definitely went on a run of sweeps. I can't remember how many it was exactly, but the Lady Lancers, even in their last year, having their own taste of success. So it's a common feeling between the two teams, and just the block there just going out of bounds and falling the wrong side of the line for the Lancers.
Yeah, you know, that was another good point. Really well played by our girls. Got a block at the net and just fell out of bounds.
Serve there. Dug up by Stepic. The set by Hayhanen going back towards Stepic, and she's going to get another go at it, and this time she makes them pay for it.
You know, Una showing a little creativity there at the net, and ball goes out of bounds. And again, just her being smart, not having to hammer it every time, and just push it across and caught the outside of the block.
4-8 in this game for the Plainswomen as Una Stepic up to serve. Good serve there to centre court. That quick set again being a key feature for NJC evidently. Just the Lancers needing to get back in system, and they do by the block by Cantrell and Kirkbride. And that is a nice way for the Lady Lancers to get successive points.
Yeah, it was really nice. Did a great job with it. And just girls got to keep communicating. You know, it's fun to watch when any team, you know, when they communicate and they're having fun out there, they're playing well.
And dipping out of bounds by Una Stepic on the near side, and giving the ball back to the Plainswomen.
Yeah, you know, Una does a really good job with her serve, and sometimes she seems like she cuts it so the ball curves and just curves a little bit too much down the left line.
Serve, powerful to back court there by number 9, Kennedy Kerr. And that was just a good serve, coach.
You know, it was a very good serve. It fell right between Olive and Una, and you know, that's where you're trying to put serves, in between people, make them move, make them communicate, and our girls just got to get on top of that.
Kerr's here again, powerful to back court again, but this time doesn't quite work and just falls out of bounds.
Yeah, 10-6, you know, this game's not out of reach. You know, 1-2 serves here from Olive, and, you know, we're right back in this.
Barrow, number 0, Olive Osmer up to serve for the Lady Lancers. Good serve there to backcourt, and oh, that sly touch over by the setter there, just catching, I think, all of the Lady Lancers off guard and really placed to perfection.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things she probably saw at the point before, or something she'd stuck in her memory bank, where just knew what the rotation was going to be for our girls, and we were just late getting to that left front corner.
So coming in, dug up by Osmer. The set from Hayhanen. Slight miss hit there, it looked like, by Huntsman, but she managed to get it over the net and just touched over there by Mosley and really exposing her height.
Yeah, you know, it was one of those things. We were at the net, did a good job, and I'm sure everybody expected Mosley just to hammer it, and she just tipped it across, and, you know, we were looking for the powerful hit and just didn't get it.
And Unastepic dug up, hit down by Alana Asante, and that's a really good response to losing the point.
Yeah, always like it when we got Alana in the middle like that, and we have that quick set to her. She's trouble.
It's going to be Lola Hughes here to serve, as her and Brittany Huff have been checked back into the game for Annika Cantrell and Clara Hayhanen. And there's Samantha Mosley showing off her height again, and this time is slamming it to the near sideline.
Yeah, they kind of brought her around in a rotation off to the right corner there, and had a deke in the middle. Our girls reacted to the deke, and then left Mosley just unattended. And that's going to be an easy one for her.
Set from Hughes, just causing some issues there for the Lady Lancers, and couldn't quite get it back over the net.
Yeah, again, you know, we talk about those, how important it is to receive serves and be able to put them in play and do a good job putting them in a spot that for our setters. And, you know, right now that one was just a little bit deep and hard to handle.
Well, Coach Hamilton here calling a timeout. So, Coach, you mentioned that you've got back early from your scrimmage yesterday, and just run us through how that went.
You know, we went up to Black Hills State, and our women and men, you know, scrimmaged, and I thought the women did a really good job competing. You know, played 4 quarters. Had some different strategies going in there. They played some man, some zone, and thought our girls really reacted and competed and learned a lot from it. And, you know, our guys went up, kind of the same thing. Played 2 halves, didn't play the quarters. So Black Hills State has picked to win, in the men's side, picked to win the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, the RMAC. And they look like it. You know, big, strong, got a couple Division I bounce backs, and, you know, they got us in the first half pretty good. In the second half, it's a much more competitive game. Really happy with our guys in the second half, and just need to continue to maintain that momentum of, you know, really defending at a high level and then being unselfish on offense.
Well, sounds like the men's and women's basketball teams are ready and set to get their season underway on the 31st of October away to McCook, as we get this set restarted here. And just a bit of miscommunication there to start off the set between Amory Huntsman and Una Stepic.
Yeah, just something they got to get through there. Talk early, go ahead and make a play. You know, got some really good players back there, and, you know, give yourselves a chance.
In the same way, NJC are seeming to do a very good job at just slotting the ball in between the players there, and that was outside of the antenna by Amory Huntsman.
Yep. Yeah, it was a good serve, a little floater, and got us out of sync. And when you're out of system, it makes it a little bit hard.
Kira Heaven low. Set here from Hughes and just tipped there by the Plainswomen, and it's a point back for the Lancers. Now trailing 16-8.
Again, that was the back set, and really nice back set, put right on the money. And I think maybe doing a little bit more of that, a little misdirections, really going to help us here.
Emery Huntsman to serve for the Lady Lancers. Serve towards backcourt, and the setter there just touched over there, and it's really well kept up by Lola Hughes. Steppitz just trying to get it back over the net, and the Lady Lancers just getting each other's way. Emery Huntsman and Lola Hughes, I think, just colliding there and giving the point away to the Plainswomen.
It's a tough ball at the net. Lots of tips, girls diving for the ball, and then when you get that sort of pile of bodies at the net, it's hard to work around.
And Olive Osmer there, that dig just not quite enough on it, and it's going to be an 18-8 lead for the Plainswomen, and the Lady Lancers just needing to stay in system here.
Absolutely, and that was a tough ball. Was it going to land out, or do I go ahead and play it? She got caught in between.
Lola Hughes to set. The hit by Brittany Huff is fantastic, and it is in, and that's a good response there by the Lady Lancers to losing a few points in a row. And there, just to get that back to 9-18, it's a good kill there by Brittany Huff.
Yeah, Atlanta back to serve here. Let's see if she can knock in 2 or 3, and we climb right back in this.
Lana Asante to backcourt. The setter there going to Mosley. The block's doing really well there to get in the way of that. In the same way that NJC got up well to Una Stepic's hit. And that time just killed off there by Natalie Moore, and the block of the combined block, I think, of Ilana Asante and Brittany Huff not quite being able to get to it.
No, very important for our blockers to get over there and get a piece of that, and again, just slow it down a little bit, and once we get that, we're back in system.
Serving from Madeline Chumway. Set from Hughes, the hit down by Stepich. Dug up really well by Gavette. Just another good hit there by Caitlin Barnes this time.
Yeah, really good job. NJC staying in system, putting the ball where they needed to, and our girls, I think, a little confused at where they needed to be on the net that time.
Shumway to serve again. Just a bit of an awkward recovery there by Amory Huntsman, and NJC doing all sorts of things to get the Lady Lancers out of system, and that's a really well worked move by NJC.
Yeah, they brought 12, Natalie Moore, around on the slide, and we just couldn't keep up with that pace, and they moved the ball extremely well there.
Natalie Moore just coming around on the slide and catching the girls off guard, and that entire point, just they seemed out of system, and point there given to the Lady Lancers.
Again, a really intelligent play by Una, just to know what she could and couldn't do with that ball, and just pushed it over and caused trouble. I believe they were called, I think NJC was called for a carry there.
Clara Hayhinen and Annika Cantrell back into the game for number 2, Brittany Huff, and number 18, Lola Hughes. As the service there just going out of bounds and leading NJC's Plainswomen to a 22-10 lead.
And again, let's just take this 1 point at a time. Let's see if we can break her serve right here.
Caitlin Barnes, that's a very awkward reception for Amory Huntsman, and the block there by Natalie Moore. It's NJC really starting to pound on the pressure and really starting to show why they are 4th in the nation, Coach.
They really are. When you look at teams like that, it's almost like everywhere you go, you see 2 of them, and they move so well and cover so much ground that that's why they are 4th in the nation.
Just slightly long there by Caitlin Barnes, and it's going to give another point away to the Lancers, and it's one of those errors that we've not seen a ton of from NJC in this second set, but ones that I'm sure that the Lady Lancers are pleased to see.
Oh, absolutely. And you could kind of see it coming as they move the ball around. They were going to go to the back row there, and looks like our girls were ready, and they hit the ball long.
Steppich, that's a fantastic serve to that near side, and NJC just doing a remarkable job to keep that in bounds there, but the Lady Lancers taking advantage of an out of system NJC, and for the first time in a while, Coach, 2 successive points.
Yeah, that was great, and again we brought 2 girls to the middle. One was a deke, and the set went to Annika, and she did a great job with it.
Steppich serving to backcourt again, and the block there by Annika Cantrell just not quite enough to get it back over the net.
Yeah, just barely slid the ball over the net on us, but Annika did a great job. She's in the right spot. Just, again, I don't know enough about the technique there. She just needed to hold her hands a little bit more steady or a little bit more forward, but they were just able to sneak the ball past her.
Within 1 point for NJC's Plainswomen. Serve coming in. Steppich digs it well. The set from Hagen, and it's just a bit of a miscommunication there, and it is going to finish off the set for the Plainswomen. 25-12 in that set, and Coach, that was another tough set for the Lady Lancers to take, but how do they bounce back for the next set?
It's kind of the same thing. It's kind of the got to get this figured out, and start like you talked about earlier. Not as many surface errors, and then not as many errors in receiving. And you take those 2 things away, or you reduce those, and you're right back in these games, because those points go away in a hurry. And you're playing a team that's quality like NJC. They're not going to give you too many second chances at it.
Certainly from the looks of it, it didn't look like we had as many errors as we did in the first set. I think it looked a lot more solidified that time, but just almost falling just even shorter, kind of losing by 3 more points there, but almost that time not feeling like that was necessarily justified.
It'll be interesting to look at the stats here and see what it actually tells us, but yeah, you're right, it did seem like we were a little bit more in sync, but let's see what the numbers tell us.
So far I'm seeing 5 errors more in that. I was looking at Northeastern on that one. So yeah, so Northeastern making 5 errors is obviously that's a big, that's a big thing for them, because only 5 errors. Well, that means you're only really giving up 5 points, and that kind of showed in that second set, and that's probably where those points that I was talking about are coming from, in the fact that we just didn't get as many errors from NJC.
Right, and it looks like a lot of our errors here are on the attacking side. And I think that all starts with, your reception of the ball and how we're moving the ball up to our setters, and, then our setters need to do a good job. And, it's never just one thing. It's never just one person. It's about getting everybody in sync here.
Starting to get the kill percentage back into the, close to the positive, just at negative 0.05 there, and Northeastern upping theirs up to 0.286, and I can't say I'm surprised by that, Coach, because one of the names that's really standing out here is Samantha Mosley, and she is just having a game.
She really is, and she's one of those athletes that makes it look easy, and we all wonder when you see somebody like that, where they swing a club effortlessly, or they've got the purest jump shot, or here in volleyball where she just has kind of an effortless swing and always seems like she's in the right spot. She's just a really good player.
And we're about ready to get this 3rd set underway here, and the Lady Lancers making sure that they used up all of that time. Coach Hamilton just really trying to reaffirm to his players about the game plan. As you can see here, Alison Botters is getting ready to come into the game here.
And Alison's done a good job at the net, and she's been getting more and more time, so excited to have her in there and see what she can do. Allison definitely has on the most colorful shoes of the team.
Yeah, I did notice that. In fact, the other week, the fact that she had those blue shoes on, and they were certainly very eye-catching, I think is the way to describe it.
Yeah, a little bit of aqua blue on them, a little bit of dark blue or almost purple, and like one little spot there, you got a side of pink.
In fact, she is going to be checked out there for Olive Osmer.
And we'll see how this rotation goes if they bring her back in, because she has done well at the net, and that'll give Mosley a little bit of competition right there. Well,
we're going to get back underway here by the serve from Stella Cara. Just a bit of an awkward dig there by Una Stepic, and just caused some issues for the Lady Lancers there. And coach kind of goes back to what you were talking about the reception errors, just trying to make sure that we keep those serves in play.
Yeah, step one, right? Let's keep those serves in play. Get them back over one way or another, even if we don't get a kill or a big hit out of it. Let's just get it over, keep the ball off the floor.
It's interesting you mentioned about Alison Bossers kind of being a presence at the net, because she is in fact the tallest player on this team. Just an inch taller, granted, than Annika Cantrell, but maybe in the scout report you would have thought trying to pair up as many taller players as you can to Samantha Morsley would have been the play.
It's one of those things you look at and you wonder if Coach Hamilton's going to give that a try here in the last set or not. And hopefully this won't be the last set.
And Emery Huntsman here up to serve for the Lady Lancers. Towards backcourt. Hit there by number 15, Kira Lowe. Puts it beyond the reach of Amory Huntsman.
It looked like it almost went right between our blockers there. It's hard to tell from this angle if they hit it to the outside and went right down the line, or if she was able to sneak that right in between our blockers.
So coming in from Kira Lowe. The set from Hughes. The hit by Huff, and Lowe just getting in the way of that one and giving the point back to the Lancers. I think she made the right judgment to go for it, because it definitely looked in, or it looked like it was going to drop in. So definitely looked like she made the right judgment call there.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those things where it just shows, when somebody doesn't get a hand on the net, it's really hard to return.
Oh no, Sante serve there. Set towards Barnes. Stepich going to get there, and she does, but Mosley does well to block. And just that short set there, and just looked like a miss hit there by Sandra and Decker.
Yeah, she got just enough of it and pushed it to that left side, and again, we were looking for a ball in the middle or to the right.
Serve coming in here from Gavetz, just clipping the top of the net there. The set from Hughes, just trying to go for that quick set, and Bossers not quite being able to get it over the net.
No, it was a little quick set to her, and just couldn't push it over. But it was really, really good reception there by Una Stepic.
Dug up by Huntsman, and Brittany Huff there, just misreading that a little bit, and just a little bit on the back foot.
Yeah, again, back to reception. How do we receive these serves, and where do we put them?
Serve coming in from Gavetz, dug up by Stepic. Set from Hughes, hit by Huff. Good communication there by NJC. Just a little bit of confusion originally, and the block there coming in from Alison Botters.
Good job by Alison. That's why they've got her in there to compete at the net, and she did a really nice job.
It's going to be Clara Hayhinen and Annika Cantrell checking back into the game for Lola Hughes and Brinley Huff. Almost that formidable pairing as we've seen so many times in our coverage so far. There's a bit of an awkward reception there. I'm not too sure what that was called on by the ref on Samantha Mosley, but nevertheless it's a point for the Lancers, and it's a 4-6 lead for the Lady Plainsmen.
Yeah, they called a double hit on her. Just was trying to set the ball or push the ball across, and just that she didn't hit the ball evenly, I guess, with both hands.
Set here, and the block coming in from Annika Cantrell, but falling the wrong side of the line for the Lady Lancers.
Yeah, good block. Annika and Allison were where they needed to be, and just a little bit unlucky there.
Madeline Shumway just being checked back into the game there, and Samantha Mosley being taken out. Bit of a breath of fresh air for our Lady Lancers, I think, with the trouble that Samantha Mosley's been causing us.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we get a couple free swings there.
And up for the block is Annika Cantrell, and she did really well to get up in time. 5-7 the lead for the Plainswomen, and that was a good point there by the Lady Lancers from the hit from Steppich to the block from Cantrell.
Yep, I agree with you 100%. And if we can have a few more of these, we're only down 2.
It'll floater there by Steppich, really well stopped by Annika Cantrell and Alison Botters. Their defence game is very good at the net so far.
Yeah, she's really making an impact, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
Una Steppich going towards the near side backcourt, and tipped there that time by, looked like Amory Huntsman. Substitution coming in here for the Plainswomen. Number 3 Sophie Wood being taken out for number 15 Kira Lowe.
And, good adjustment by NJC to go to the slide there and get away from Alison Botters.
Set from Hayen, and Amory Huntsman with the hit down and kept up superbly by NJC. Dug by Hayen, and the set this time from Osmera. And a good dig there by Osmera, the set from Hayen, and the hit by Steppich is long of the court.
Yeah, just a little bit too much, but again, another good college point there. Good rally. Olive did a great job digging the ball, and good hit by Una. She did the right thing, just a little too hard.
Just couldn't quite get over it, and it is a 6-9 lead for the Plainswomen, and just a reception error there from Olive Osmera, just giving another point there to NJC.
Yep, sometimes you got to work through these things, and right now it's an opportunity for Olive to just get better. They're going to come at her, a lot of serves here, and it's great practice for what we're going to need her to do here down the stretch of the season. There you go.
Dug up there by Osmera. A good hit there by Amory Huntsman, but the block were equal to it, and it's going to be another block there for Natalie Moore and number 8 Stella Cara. And it's going to be a timeout here called by George Hamilton. Join us back in a little bit when we bring you the rest of this third set.
Hi, my name is Bowden Lilliedal. I'm a sophomore at Eastern Wyoming College, majoring in pre-health sciences. I want to invite you to Eastern Wyoming College for your continued education. We have small class sizes, a family-friendly environment, and we are affordable while offering many scholarships. The WC offers so many program and career certificates, so we're sure there's something for you. Check us out online at uwc.wyo.edu or call us at 307-532-8230. Charge into your future with us at Eastern Wyoming College. Lancer up.
Oh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are about ready to get this third set resumed. It's going to be number 4, Caitlin Barnes, here to serve for the Lady Plainsmen.
A couple of really important points here. If we can get a couple of these, we can get back into it.
Amory Huntsman with a bit of an awkward reception error there, but doing really well to keep that ball in play was Una Steppich. And immediately there, Vladina Ristic just running over to really support Una Steppich there in her good efforts.
Yeah, it was a great effort by Una, and sliding back into the wall, and I'm sure that made Ladanya a little bit nervous again, seeing somebody go close to the wall.
Or just a little bit of getting in the way of each other there, and Alison Botters and Una Steppich just colliding there, and it's going to be 6-13 for the Plainswomen as we get a serve in here from Caitlin Barnes again. It's a near side, and it's well dug up by Steppich. The hit by Cantrell, read well by NJC. Dig by Hayhinen, set by Osmera. The hit down by Cantrell was good, but again read well by NJC. They just need to get it back over, and can they take advantage of an out of system? NJC here, Cantrell. Really well hit down, but again recovered well. And in by the Plainswomen, and that's just a good college point.
Another one like that. We had a very good rally. They decided to go to the back row with it, and we just misjudged it. It was, it was close to the line, but it was definitely in.
One of those where the Lady Lancers just didn't do a lot wrong, but just got outplayed by NJC when it mattered, and that's a good use of interpretation there by Amory Huntsman just to tip that over the net and know exactly what she needed to do.
Yep, she did a fantastic job putting the ball right in the middle. Nobody was there. Big gap in the floor, and point for us. And let's see if we can dig into this a little bit.
Olive Osmer up to serve for the Lady Lancers. 7-14 is the lead for the Plainswomen. And the violation there called on NJC, and it's going to be another point for the Lady Lancers.
Yeah, they call a net violation there on number 8, Stella Carr.
That's a difficult one. She's I've just seen she's from Italy, so it's one of those of I wonder whether it's actually got a slightly different saying, because it's.
I would imagine that it does, and you gotta, ignore my ignorance on that pronunciation.
No, that's my bad as well. I mean, I'm from Europe and I still don't even know exactly how to pronounce that. So I think that's just clearly a difficult name to pronounce. So just a little bit of a mishap there between the Lady Lancers and Amory Huntsman really wanting to go for that, and Osmer standing her ground but just mishitting it.
Yeah, again, can we find some sequence here? Can we find just the ability to get ourselves back in system? A lot of it's just awareness. Sometimes you want your teams to be aware, no matter what the team is, of what's going on of the surroundings. Don't be lost.
Yeah, that served just a little bit of a difficult one to interpret for the Lady Lancers, just because it rode the tape for so long and you weren't sure whether it was going to fall back on the side of NJC or whether it was going to fall on the side of the Lady Lancers. And that time the ball falling on the side of, well, fortunately for the Lancers rather.
Yeah, absolutely. When we talk about awareness, we talk about 3 types of players: those that don't know what happened, those that wonder what happened. I'm trying to think how this goes. I'm going to get this right after the serve. Give me 1 second.
And Annika Cantrell and Clara Hakenin being checked out of the game there again for Lola Hughes and Brittany Halfers. The block there coming in from Alana Asante and really showing what a kind of a presence she can be at the net.
Yeah, that old saying was those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those that wonder what happened.
There we go. Set coming in from NJC. Not going for the quick set, I think, as they kind of faked. And the hit going in there from Kira Lowe, and she's been one that's been quite sly so far tonight, is just those little hits just kind of near side and not looking like they've got a whole bunch of power, but just got the right placement.
It looks like when she gets her opportunity, she really takes advantage of it. She's another one of those impressive athletes that, doesn't look like she's moving real fast or real powerful, but she's just very graceful.
Lola Hughes with the set, half with just the tip over. Mosley doing everything she could to keep it in, and Alana Asante there with the block. However, NJC managed to keep that going over, and Alana Asante finishes off the point.
Yeah, just a little pinball at the net, and one of those that came down. You never thought NJC would be able to handle it, but it goes off one person's shoulder, off another arm, and then they just bat it over.
Amory Huntsman going to be up to serve for the Lady Lancers. Set to Mosley, and
yeah, the big lefty just comes up swinging, and again, probably one of those things that we just have to anticipate, and you have to go there. Just go get there, get to her, take her away, and make somebody else beat you.
Kira Lowe from Toulouse, France, to serve for the Plainswomen, and immediately gets an ace with the reception error from Amory Huntsman. Just looked like a difficult one to interpret where that was going to go and to just kind of judge where that was going to land.
It was a very tough serve, and she put it in a difficult spot.
Difficult reception there for Amory Huntsman, but she did well to just put it back towards the set of Lola Hughes, and chance for Huntsman to set, half to hit. And Mosley on that far side, dug up really well by Lola Hughes. Another attempt for NJC, and it's a great dig there by Olive Osmer. Huntsman to dig, the set from Hughes, the hit from half blocked. There's another set from Hughes. The hit from Stepic this time is going to be enough for the point.
Another really good point there. Our girls stayed in system, handled it. They must have got blocked at the net 3-4 times. Handled it, stayed in system every single time, just kept going back to it.
It's a great show of resilience as well and determination to really kind of just make sure that they got that point. And it could have been very demoralising, say, when Brittany Huff's attempt got blocked, but they needed to switch straight back on, and they did. Alana Asante is going to get the ace.
And all of a sudden, 6-point game here. Girls are playing well. A couple more good serves and keep picking away at this lead.
Alana Asante going to be up to serve again for the Lady Lancers. Going backcourt again, and another difficult one for NJC to deal with. NJC can't get that back over the net, and it is going to be 14-9 for the Lady Lancers and 3 points in a row.
And really good play by Brinley Huff at the net, just to get her hands up and on an awkward ball that NJC just wasn't going to be able to get to.
Sante's serve causing issues for NJC again. They're not going to get it back over. 4 points in a row, 15-9 for the Lady Lancers, and another great display of serving by Alana Asante.
Yeah, let's hope she just keep this going and just keep putting in places where it's tough to return.
A bit of a miscommunication there by NJC, but doing really well to recover it nonetheless. And the hit by Mosley straight at Lola Hughes, and it's a 15-20 game.
Yeah, nice job by NJC recovering after miscommunication to get started, but they got the ball to Mosley, and not much we could do with her there. But again, you know, we got to get Allison over there and get her hands up and make it tough for her.
So it's going to come in here by Evelyn Gavetz. Dug up by Stepic. The set for Amory Huntsman from centre court. Catches quite a lot of the line at the back, and that's a great point for the Lancers to get.
You know, again, staying in system, going to the back row, and she did a great job putting it in a tough spot.
JD Critchfield checking into the game with Annika Cantrell for Lola Hughes and Brittany Huff, and it's going to be Critchfield up to serve. And that was a few shouts of out there, which I think was probably the right call, but NJC play it anyway, and just a little bit of an awkward ball to try and deal with from a Lancer point of view.
Yep, serve was probably out. NJC did handle it though, and then we got out of system and just couldn't do anything with it. So, you know, here we go, 21-16, still got a chance. You know, can we bang around and, you know, get to 20 before they say get to 23, and then you're back in this.
Madeline Shumway to serve for the Plainswomen, and Stepic to hit and just slightly mistimed. It's going to open that lead back up for the Plainswomen up to 22-16. Madeline Shumway up to serve again for the Plainswomen. Dug up well by Huntsman. The set by Critchfield just a little bit low, but Amory Huntsman doing really well to just knock that over the net and cause some issues there for NJC.
Yeah, you know, placement is everything. If you put it where they're not, it's going to be difficult to return.
17-22, and Una Stepic up to serve for the Lady Lancers. Set there, and just came around the back there, Natalie Moore, and caused some problems for the Lady Lancers on defence.
Yeah, something that NJC has done a really good job of is when we get on a little bit of a run, cut into their lead, you know, they do something different. You know, here they brought the slide from the right side and, you know, caught us off guard.
Caitlin Barnes to serve for the Plainswomen. The set from Critchfield. The hit by Cantrell blocked at the net. And it's a great block there actually to deny NJC. Huntsman's hit was also blocked. The set from Critchfield. The hit by Cantrell. The chance for NJC to take advantage, and they come around on the slide again.
Yeah, again, NJC executing real well. Our girls did a nice job staying in the system, dealt with a few blocks, but yeah, at the end, NJC was just able to execute there.
Game point for NJC. Barnes in with the serve. Slight reception error there by Amory Huntsman, and that's going to round out the game. Well, coach, it is a sweep, and it's going to be 7 sweeps in a row for NJC. For the Lady Lancers, it's going to be, I think, take them to 6-5 for their conference play.
Yeah, an amazing run by NJC, and congratulations to them on their season and all the success they're having. And to our girls, a couple Region 9 games left that we've got to go on the road for, so let's get out there and get those. And, if we can hold our place in fourth, get ready for the region tournament, these girls can continue battling at an opportunity to get to the national tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here on our last home game. Stay tuned for some post-game response and post-game insights from Coach George Hamilton, but we are going to bid farewell to Coach Bill Engel, as this will be probably his last time co-commentating, at least for this season, because next time we'll be here, we'll be commentating on your boys.
Oh, absolutely. We look forward to that. And Jamie, good luck to you in the golf tournament in Newton. It was great to hear about the course and the clubs and everything, and just tell our listeners how they can follow you guys.
Will do. Join us back here in a moment.
Wyoming, where hard-working hands build incredible things.
Built this thing from the ground up out of nothing. Gave it everything. Now look at what it's given back.
We know you put your heart into your business because that's what Wyomingites do. As a local bank, we put our hearts into helping you because we're not just a bank in Wyoming. We're Wyoming in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Hi, my name is Bowden Lilliedal. I'm a sophomore at Eastern Wyoming College, majoring in pre-health sciences. I want to invite you to Eastern Wyoming College for your continued education. We have small class sizes, a family-friendly environment, and we are affordable while offering many scholarships. EWC offers so many program and career certificates, so we're sure there's something for you. Check us out online at ewc.wyo.edu or call us at 307-532-8230. Charge into your future with us at Eastern Wyoming College. Lancer out.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with Coach George Hamilton, just as a bit of pre-game? No, post-game input. Coach, tough game today, but how did it go from your perspective?
Like I say, that's against one of the better teams in the country and everything, and the only way you're going to have a chance to really play with them is if we are out there playing with lots of energy. And I hate to say that old cliche, but we played like it was a Monday and everything. We just didn't have the communication. We didn't have the effort and everything that we kind of expect from our team and everything. And I think I didn't even have to say very much, in our post-game to them. I just told them that, hey, what matters now is this weekend. We got to get a win this weekend to continue playing into the regional tournament, and we really think that we have a team that can do something in the regional tournament if we will get ourselves playing together as a team and really put out a full effort and everything.
And that was one of the things that I think we saw a lot up here, me and Coach Engel, was there was a lot of instances where maybe the players were bumping into each other, just kind of making each other get themselves out of system. So what exactly do you think that they can maybe do, or maybe something that you're working on in practice that you can do to try and improve that?
Well, that's just our communication that we have, and they have passing responsibilities, and some like it when there's different teams of who will take the short, who will take the long, and for some reason they were not communicating that, and they weren't using that. They were both going when the one should go and the other one shouldn't, and it's just caused a lot of confusion and everything. I mean, when you have 11 service errors, you don't give yourself very much chance to be able to win, and that was our biggest problem is our communication, especially on our service receive and everything. And when, like saying, we've been working a lot on it, but for some reason they just went real quiet today. So hopefully that we're just telling ourselves that's a Monday, and let's move on and get ready for this weekend.
And looking forward to this weekend, you play Casper, correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
On the road, kind of what are you expecting out of your girls, and really what are you expecting from that game?
Well, they're going to be trying to clinch it and everything in that match, and so they're going to come with lots of energy. And I just look at, hey, if we can win that day, that takes the pressure off of us the Saturday and everything. So our thing is just us relaxing and just get out there and play our game. We haven't played to our potential in the last while, and we just need to get ourselves playing to our potential.
Lovely. Well, Coach, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you coming up here. Unlucky tonight, but get going for the road.
Oh, thanks.
That was Coach George Hamilton, just giving us a bit of insight into the game tonight. Join back with us in a little while when I'm going to give you some stats. Well, you join me back here in the Valpech Activity Centre after the disappointing loss 3-0 against Northeastern Community College. The Lady Plainsmen, well, they just played a very good game, and they showed exactly why they were fourth in the nation. The Lady Lancers just falling a little bit short today. Service errors kind of being one of the main issues, but as we spoke to Coach Hamilton about, one of the biggest issues that he felt like there was communication. A lot of times they were bumping into one another and causing some issues for themselves. Before we cut the stream, we have got one announcement here. As we mentioned in our 2 games prior to this, we are going to be having a processed beef raffle supporting the EWC Booster Club. It is your chance to win a quarter of processed beef, which was donated very kindly by Whit Peterson and the EWC Radio Club. Each entry will be $25. No limit on the amount of entries that you can get, so if you really wanted to, you could spend about $100 if you wanted on 4 tickets. 4 winners will be drawn at the EWC basketball game on February the 5th, 2026. The winners do not be present to win, and you will be notified if you win, regardless of whether you are here or not. Just to give you a little bit of information on the processing, the steer are finished for 200 days. The feed was donated by Dinklage Feedlot. Processing is sponsored by Century 21st Valley Realty, and the winners will be allowed to specify their processing preferences. So make sure that you buy a couple of tickets and support the EWC Booster Club. Well, as for EWC Volleyball at home for fall 2025, that is it, and that is going to be the last that you hear from the live streams until November the 11th, when we are going to be showcasing you the beginning of the home season for the men's and women's basketball. I look forward to bringing that to you. I will be here with Vice President Patrick Carell, and we look forward to giving you those games and presenting those to you. But for the meantime, take care, safe health, and continue being a Lancer.